last summer, I volunteered at a nursery school in my neighborhood. I was excited to start working there because not only was I going to interact with little children, but also that I had just graduated. So I was excited to experience what it may have been like when I began my own school life. But to be honest, with every passing day, I missed being a child. And at the end of my days, all I complained was, why did I have to grow up so fast? I felt this way right from day one. On entering my class on the first day, I was greeted by this group of cheerful 3-year-olds who settled down seeing me walk in. But the animated keenness on their face didn't diminish even a little. I felt liked already because the vibes were so contagious. I wasted no time. I introduced myself, went on to say a few cool things about me, to get the impression across. When I thought I was done, a student stood up and said, "Miss, you didn't tell us what you want to be when you grow up." I thought I was too old to answer that question. I was taken aback. Obviously, I was taking time to answer that, so he didn't wait for me, and he told me that he wanted to be an astronaut. Before I knew, the whole class began talking about what they wanted to be. I had no problems. In fact, I welcomed it. I stood back and I listened closely to all the big dreams these little ones had. Doctors, engineers, astronaut, pilot, dancer, singer. I couldn't help but reflect. Once upon a time, I was a 3-year-old too. I too may have had so many dreams. How that I'm a grown-up now, that I feel no closer to achieving those dreams than I was 15 years ago when I was imagining them. I felt like I've missed out something. How come growing up conditioned me to pursuing this one career, one ambition, one passion? Perhaps it's because how we approach when we grow up. That when we're younger, we're encouraged to dream big, go beyond what we can achieve and do what we want to do. But then as we draw closer to the final years of school, we are asked to select subjects, streams, and fields, and are helped to choose career paths that should make us successful. Success with career. And I was like, that's not what I'm looking at. That's not how it's supposed to be. We're growing up, but as ironic as it seems, it is how we were treated. You might think, as of right now, that I'm coming to blame the school, education, as a system for making children this certain way, draining creativity out of them, or producing graduates such as manufactured products. We've heard those conversations before, and I'm not going there. In fact, I want to shed light on a much bigger picture. It's this universal understanding and necessity of preparing children for the future, of giving them everything so that they become better individuals tomorrow. Yes, many consider this time in era to be the most lucky time to be alive, and we children have the easiest probably with the advancement in technologies, inventions of more comfortable life, and surplus amount of opportunities and unlimited access to information. Children have it easy, they say. Children don't have to worry about anything, they say. Children don't need to work hard anymore, they say. But do you realize this isn't true for 363 million children today? Those include some of them who are deprived of basic needs, some of them who are separated from their parents, some of them living in conflict-torn zones. I need to acknowledge this though. The world is doing a lot. Today, we have many organizations like UNICEF, CARE, Save the Children, and many more that work specifically, invest their funds and time and energy in bringing about better life for the children who live in unfortunate circumstances. They give their all, no doubt. If you open any of their websites, you will get all the stats and facts that will interest you. The figures of impact, mission, approach may be slightly different from one another, but what they share, if there's anything they share in common, it's the fact that they emphasize how important children are. Because children are leaders. Children are the future. Children are the role models of the next generation. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. But you know what? Children cannot be leaders of tomorrow, especially in today's world and context. Children cannot be leaders of tomorrow. Children cannot be leaders of tomorrow. But that's only because we are not welcome to be leaders of today. Now, when I tell you about the idea of being a leader, it's not about taking a child and putting them in a CEO's desk and encouraging them to make bold decisions. It's something as small as empowering them to put forward their opinions. I've been a student leader for 5 years. If I had to tell you my story, I was a shy person. If you don't notice it now, I'm shaking, I'm sweating, I have a flu, I'm holding back an irritating throat so that I don't give you an unpleasant cough on the mic. I am an introvert as a person, but an open book. But if leadership has taught me anything, it's about not you as a leader, but it's about everybody else along with you. Leadership is only effective when you're able to create more leaders among you. Leadership is only effective when you empower people. Empower not in giving them authority to make decisions, but something as simple as empowering them to make them feel important, make them feel valued, make them feel as if they're heard. And in today's world, that's all we ask for as children. You make decisions for us. And I'm not complaining. We do have a reputation as a generation being glued onto screens and ignoring and very complainative and enjoying the luxury. But that's not all of us. Just like we were always told our future is going to be great, adults live an independent life, successful life, at the age of 30, you're going to do this, you're going to be successful. Just like that is it generalizing this whole population as such, children also have a generalized image where you cannot decide everyone else. Today, more than ever, our generation is aware, more than any other generation was ever before when they were of our age. We're aware, all thanks to the access of information. We may be lands apart, oceans afar, but we feel everything that's happening everywhere. Whether it be the high school shootings in US or dead children coming afloat in the Mediterranean Sea. Whether it be the genocide in Myanmar of the Rohingya people, or whether it be the child trafficking in India. We feel like humans evolve, it only is a matter of time. You understand, children evolve too. I have a 5-year-old brother who, if you tell him that he has an ugly haircut, will not talk to you for the whole day. And it's something of a very insensitive, it's a very sly comment, something harmless. But what made me realize is the fact that regardless of your age, kids have self-respect too. They have this energy, they have this passion, they have this will to do things that they see around them. All they require is someone to lead that way. Dear world, all I'm asking you is that give us a chance. Don't use us as statements in your conferences and events and interviews where you invite young people to give their opinions, but it just becomes an highlight that yes, we've included young people, yes, we've heard young people. I don't want to be invited in a conference. I don't want to be sitting in your meetings and giving you my opinion. I want to be sitting with other fellow young people and be invited over a conversation. Remember the time in early 2019, early this year, when US passed the anti-abortion law? People were furious about it. One probably being that it wasn't received well by everyone, but mostly also because the committee that passed the bill was majority men-based, who had no idea what it felt like. Didn't you think it was unfair? Majority of you did. So what about people who make decisions for us? As children, you make decisions as education ministers, you make decisions as teachers, you make decisions as youth ministers. Ask us, talk to us. Probably that's how you get effective change. Because if there's anything I've learned as being a passionate change maker, is that you can only effectively make change when you're part of the community. You can't be someone outside, sitting and supervising what's happening, throwing out surveys to get consensus, to carry out change. You must be received as someone who relates to you. You must be received as someone who they can open up to you to allow them to make change, to allow change to happen. Dear world, all that I'm asking is give us children a chance. We can no longer be just beneficiaries. We must be also the ones contributing to the change as well as taking care or kind of enjoying the benefits as beneficiaries. We must be involved in every discussion that you have. I understand, I acknowledge it's probably a very elusive thing to say, but it's not hard. So I come to you, dear young people. Life gets hard. Yes, as we grow up, we become conditioned to become successful, to pursue this one career, to pursue this one job that'll make us successful and independent in this world. Life happens, I get it. But if there's one thing that should always remain constant amongst you, is your will and for you to want to live a meaningful life. To live a life that is full of service. Not to go out of the way, but something as simple as making sure the people around you are okay. They're feeling important. They're feeling empowered. They're feeling as though they're heard. Dear young people, engage in conversations. Come out of your conversations of football matches and boxing matches or say race cars and take a moment and sit with your fellow buddies, talk about affairs in the daily world, current affairs in the daily world. You will realize the changes you are learning because I'm a person who is a conversationist. I've learned so many things because it's more about give and take. Engage in conversations. And to everyone who's heard me now, my name is Shabria Saif. I'm 19. Find me because I'm all ready for a conversation. Thank you.